Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our next guest. We're talking about DEX Imaging. We're joined by Jim Hunter. He's a sales executive with DEX Imaging. And Jim, let's start by, how are you doing?
I'm doing great today. I really am. The weather is doing great when we're through with the holidays, and I'm doing great.
So let's start with a little bit of history. Give us some perspective on DEX Imaging.
Okay, so DEX Imaging has been around now for a while. We were started back in 2000, and now through Nashville, we've come into the Nashville market. Back at that time, we were one of the first regions that DEX came into, and we've grown tremendously since that time. So it's been a great ride.
Give us an idea when you talk about its technology, document solutions, R&D. You do a lot. So give us some perspective on the different services and what makes DEX Imaging special.
Okay, that's a great question. The world has changed since back in 1996 when I started doing this. I mean, the equipment actually prints now. And I found it to where a lot of the equipment is going more to the scanning side of things, document solutions, things like that, software. So the industry has changed a lot in that term. As far as DEX and the way we've been able to adapt has been with our service team. We're here locally, and so we're able to take care of each customer as their needs come. So that's one of the strong things that we have to provide.
I know on your end, you have the ability, obviously local, but you have a national platform as well. So talk about that ability to leverage both the local relationships and that customer service with a national infrastructure.
Yeah, so in February of 2019, Staples acquired DEX. And that was a unique situation. I've been through a couple acquisitions in my time. Didn't know really quite what to expect, but it became just a great team. Now it's kind of a one-stop shop. So we're able to come in and take care of all the needs of the customer, as well as kind of piggyback off each other. One of the strong points that DEX had to offer in that purchase was our managed print services. So it's where we come in, and probably over the last 5 years, it's one of the things that's grown. So it's where we come in and we take care of all the network printers. So you can basically take care of 500 to 500 printers throughout an organization. There's no purchase necessary. But one of the things is you can find that it's very cost efficient for the customer, as well as it streamlines their process.
When you talk about the technology side and working with the latest and greatest, the most reputable brands, talk about that decision-making process in terms of when you're sitting down with a customer, looking at what their needs are and analyzing it, and then obviously providing the solution. Walk us through some of the factors, the questions that you like to ask to make sure that you're delivering the best solution.
It's a great question. With DEX, we're very fortunate to work with about 4 or 5 different manufacturers. So when we come in and we talk to a customer, we sit down and consult, we're able to find out what their needs are and put the right piece of equipment in the correct manufacturer in place. So that's one of the things that we have that I think a lot of other companies don't have. So we're able to do that, as well as come in and consult, do walkthroughs, find out what it is actually, what their needs are in those situations, because as time goes on, a department's needs change. So we're able to come in and maybe right size the equipment and make it more cost efficient for them, but also probably make them more efficient at the same time.
Yeah, well, you mentioned before a lot of it going to the document solution in terms of the scanning and the files now kind of being held in the cloud, so to speak. What are some other major trends that you have your attention on in terms of 2021 and beyond?
Well, I think that the scanning, the R&D on all the equipment that's out now, the scanning has increased. It's much more reliable. It's much more durable. We're finding that people walk up to the equipment and they're scanning as much as they are actually printing these days, if not more. So that R&D has really helped, where your printers now scan at 250 pages a minute on a simple office equipment. And that's all about time and making it more productive for the customer, because they find that they have to walk up to the equipment and actually scan it in and go back to their desk. So that increase in and speed has helped quite a bit. But on the back end, there's several different, depending on what the customer, what vertical market the customer's in. There are several different softwares software packages that you can come in and help them streamline their process, just depending on what market you're working in. So there's just countless of opportunities to take care of the customer and make things easier.
Yeah, elaborate a little bit further on that side, because I think that's something that now when you talk about, it's not just installing the network, so to speak, it's the full integration with the technology and the software and everything else too. Share a little bit more about that.
Well, a lot of the software packages that are out now from a walk-up standpoint are, they give the customer ability to do reporting, to help them justify who is actually running the prints within their organization. They can have automatic reports sent out monthly, quarterly. They can type in top users in their organization. That actually, I don't want to call it policing, but just having that software put on the system, you'll find that people think another second before they print something, do we actually need that? Along with that is you can actually print, you can do what's follow me printing. So you can actually print to the cloud. And when you get to the equipment, you can authenticate, which basically it knows that it's you. And so therefore you can print the equipment on demand while you're there, or you can actually walk to another piece of equipment on the network. If that one were to be busy and print your job there. So yeah, that's another unique, it eliminates waste. I've been in a number of offices where they actually have a table at the end of the copier and it's set with all the jobs that nobody ever came to retrieve. So it eliminates that waste. So if you don't go get it, you don't need it. So it actually holds it until you get there and scan, and it'll print at that time. So little things like that, you'd be surprised that really add up, pennies add up to where a customer can save quite a bit of money.
Absolutely. One of the things that to me really separates you all out is your focus on community. And when you look at the give back side, and even how much you literally dictate, this is how much is going to go to nonprofits and supporting the community. Share a little bit of the philanthropic side of DEX Imaging.
You know, DEX, we're really strongly community driven. We focus on giving back locally. That's one of the things that attracted me to come work for DEX, as well as being a family-oriented business. But with the ability to come in and work with local nonprofit agencies, that has been a blast for me. It really has. I have a partner that works with me, Angela New, and between the two of us, we're always involved with certain auctions or golf tournaments or whatever they need. If something happens, we like to be there for them. So through all that, one of the big things when DEX started, the understanding was what is a third of all of their profits was going to be given back to local charities. And that's been huge with us. And we've really enjoyed the giving back part of that. And really also the partnership that goes along with that.
Give me one or two just special moments when you talk about working with nonprofits, and obviously feel free to name drop with the nonprofits, but give us a couple. Yeah, about to say, give us a couple easy promo, but give us a couple of your special moments.
Good deal. Project Return is located downtown here in Nashville. And you know what I call a business does. You think you do, but they called and they were having some problems, and their equipment was ready to be upgraded, and they needed some help. So I was printing out their jobs for them while we were getting their new equipment in, and I got this email at like 9 o'clock. So somebody had sent me an email over with a list of all the gentlemen's names and the women that are there with all of their with all the resumes. So, and it had to be there by 8 o'clock the next morning. So for about 3 days straight while we were getting their new equipment in, I was printing those. And then when I would go to deliver them, had to be there by 8. There were lines of people waiting to get their resumes to go out on their interviews. And that just really just hit home for me on what they've done. And that charity has really grown. I think they've gotten some awards as well. So that would be one that really jumps out at me. Also, we're real involved with the Girl Scouts of Middle Tennessee. We help sponsor their golf tournament. And I really enjoy that part of that. And I think that fits DEX as well, to be able to go in and help and actually put your money where your mouth is and your time more importantly, your time on top of that. So we really enjoy both aspects of giving our time as well as any way we can help out financially. That's really what we enjoy.
Yeah, and I think, as you're illustrating, it's powerful because you can see the immediate impact. The people literally, like as you're walking in with those resumes, like these are the people that you're helping.
Yeah.
You can see that personal impact. The other thing is you mentioned, and I think this is a good lesson for all businesses, every business does something that can add value. And so in your end, hey, we can do something as simple as print these up to be able to help. And yes, it takes time to drive it down. You get to see that reward, but you have an asset that you can provide, a resource that can help that nonprofit. And I think whether it's delivery trucks, camera equipment, conference rooms, like whatever it is, businesses have assets and resources they can use and leverage strategically that really does help that nonprofit. And so to your point, on both ends, you're able to see the return, but obviously do something that's in your wheelhouse that really does help them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, another one actually that I just thought of was Hands On Nashville, where, that organization was actually set up when the floods came. And, I've been in Nashville now for about 5 years, and I've learned so much about the history and things that have happened. But when the tornadoes came through earlier this year, Hands On Nashville was a huge part of that. And they're the ones that are in charge of helping all the other non-for-profits to help, and it's kind of like they're in charge. So we put some equipment down there and just said, hey, put it in the middle of the floor and said, run it, and whatever you need. They were printing off several maps to people to help. So that's another thing that really to be able to go and help during that time, just an easy phone call. You don't realize how much that helps on the other end.
Yeah. What's something outside of the philanthropy and the community engagement? What's something that you wish everyone knew about DEX Imaging?
I would say that how easy we are to do business with. We have a group there that is tenured. Our service team goes over and beyond to take care of our customers, and that goes from the sales reps all the way through admin, dispatch, our service, our MPS team. A lot of that goes back to the whole family atmosphere, along with giving a third of our profits to local nonprofits. We give another third of our profits back to non-commissioned employees. And that was, when I found out about that, that really kind of was kind of the point that I said, this is the company that I want to work with going forward. And so we 3 times a year, and everything's about family. So when kids get out of school in May, when they go back in August, and then again at Christmas time in December, we have profit sharing checks for non-commissioned employees. And we come in, we meet at 7:30 in the morning in the warehouse, we get in a big circle. It's kind of old school, and it's great. We say thank you, and we all can't survive without each other, and it creates that teamwork where everybody's looking out for each other, and that's really important to me.
Yeah, very cool. When you talk about that level of commitment, both to your team and to the community, that's powerful. Wrap up and talk about the Nashville Predators score and the WIN program.
Yeah. So that goes back to our giving locally. We pick 10 local charities, and they are local. Some of them might have big names, but they're of Middle Tennessee type. And so it's a lot like a fantasy team. So we pick the 10 local charities, and we put 2 to 3 players. We draw names and put it on their tent as they score goals, as they do assists, saves, if you have the goalie, things like that. They gain money. So at the end of the year, the Preds have a luncheon, and each one of those charities, and some of them are very, very small, they get to get their name out there. They get to come in, they accept their check, and they get to stand up and tell, hey, this is what we're doing with the money. So that's really important to get some of those charities that don't necessarily get their name out as much as some of the others, and to tell their story. And throughout the year, the Preds will actually put it on the school board, put the names of them on there, and it's really is a neat thing. And also the competitive part of it, you can go in on in the middle of the week or the end of the weekend or after the game and type in and see how much money you made. So that is a neat program that we work along with the Predators. So.
Very cool. Wrap up with contact information. Where does everyone go to learn more and to reach out and get in touch with you for DEX Imaging?
Absolutely. You can always contact us here locally here at DEX, as well as at deximaging.com. And we're located here in Nashville. So, give us a shout. I'm Jim Hunter. Reach out to me, LinkedIn. I'm at jim.hunter@deximaging.com. I look forward to hearing from anybody there and see if we can't come in and help you.
Well, Jim, greatly appreciate you and your team and all you do. Your cityCURRENT partners as well. So we appreciate you being a part of us powering the good. But thank you for all you do and for coming on the show.
Good deal. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.